The first step to retrofit the swiveling trailer coupling is to remove the paneling in the trunk. Remove the expanding clips and take out the paneling. Then remove the anchoring lugs and take out the carrier plate. If there is an optional toolbox in the trunk, unbolt it and remove it. Now it is easier to undo the bolt on the left for the trim panel on the rear center section. Note, do not unscrew the bolt completely. Use an assembly wedge to unclip the trim panel and remove the expansion clips for the side panels and the plastic parts of the anchoring lugs. Remove the anchoring lugs. Then remove the side panels on both sides. On the right, first unplug the connection for the trunk lamp. Continue by removing the signal acquisition and actuation module SAM. Important, observe all applicable safety information for the handling of electronic components. Unscrew the nut. Tip the SAM with fuse and relay module forwards. Then unlock the control unit and detach it from the fuse and relay module. Unplug all the electrical connections on the control unit and then remove it. The two nuts on the rear center section must be removed. Unplug the electrical connection of the Partronic and pass it out through the opening in the rear center section together with the wiring harness. Raise the vehicle in order to remove the bumper. Detach the wheel well liner and unscrew the bolts fastening the bumper. Then unscrew the 6 bolts underneath the vehicle. Unclip the bumper at the sides, starting at the fender. Remove the bumper with the aid of an assistant. Note, avoid tilting the bumper and put it down carefully so as not to damage the paintwork. Remove the shields of the rear muffler. On vehicles with optional twin exhaust pipes, the left and right shields must be removed. The same applies for the rubber mounts. Important, wear gloves to avoid cutting your hands. Unbolt the crossmember. Information, this part is not reinstalled. Now to the engine compartment. Replace the electric fan with a 600-watt fan. Start at the engine air intake duct. Remove the following parts: the cold air intake, the covers on the lamp units, the 2 brackets on the radiator, the 10 bolts fixing the radiator crossmember and the radiator crossmember itself. On the right-hand side of the fan, disconnect the electrical connection. Unclip the retaining lugs from the fan. Unclip the lower air ducting and unscrew the bolt holding the automatic lines on the fan. Detach and remove the fan. Install the new fan in the reverse order. Install the crossmember at the rear end. Stubborn adhesive residues that cannot be removed by hand can be scraped off with an assembly wedge. Remove the stop plugs on each side of the rear center section at the longitudinal member. There are 6 in total. The stop plugs can be discarded. Make sure that the seals are correctly positioned. The tab on the seal must point downwards. Mounting fluid makes it easier to push the longitudinal member reinforcements into the longitudinal members. The longitudinal member reinforcements are fastened with 2 single M10 by 25 self-locking bolts. Tighten them finger tight. Note: an assistant is required for the next step. Place the crossmember on top of the left and right reinforcements. Note: touch up any paintwork damage with corrosion protection. Insert the cable through the left-hand hole and close the hole with the grommet. Fasten the new crossmember at the attachment points of the old one. Note: tighten these bolts finger tight too. Then, tighten the crossmember bolts to 110 Newton meters. Tighten the bolts for the longitudinal member reinforcement and nuts for the rear center section to 65 Newton meters. Route the trailer coupling wiring harness to the SAM control unit and to the left side, and close the hole using the existing grommet. Then fasten the wiring harness with the clips. Fetch the wiring harness of the control unit. Open the blue 28-pin connector. Fit the brown line at the top in this picture, in chamber 9, and the brown, red line in chamber 10. Close the blue connector again. The blue fuse carrier on the control unit wiring harness is inserted into the slot marked blue on the control unit. The brown line of the wiring harness for the trailer coupling and control unit goes to the ground point in the trunk for the tail lamp. Install the SAM and reconnect the connectors. Secure the SAM control unit with fuse and relay box using a bolt. Then connect up the connectors on the trailer recognition control unit. Fit the bracket and bolt it down. Then push the control unit into the bracket and tighten the last bolt. Now install the release lever and the left hand bracket in the trunk. Screw the bolt into the left hand wall in order to attach the bracket. Fit the cable in the bushing in the catch. Turn the hand wheel until the slot on the cable lines up with the slot in the catch, then click in the retaining clip. Finally, fit the connector of the trailer coupling wiring harness onto the catch and clip the catch into the bracket. Before installing the bumper, reattach the exhaust mounts. Remove the cutout in the middle of the bumper using a suitable tool. Note, otherwise the ball neck cannot be swung out properly. This completes the retrofit. But does the trailer hitch work? It can be checked by data transfer in the star diagnosis unit. It works perfectly. Finally, the variant coding, SCN coding, is carried out. Check the special equipment for error messages and enter the code 550 trailer, coupling on the vehicle data card online. Perform the lighting check on the power outlet.